How you doing, folks? Ron Raymond here from the Raymond Report for a Tuesday, August 8th. Hope you're having yourself a good start to your Ruby Tuesday. As always, don't forget, subscribe to our channel by tapping that notification bell in the top right-hand corner, or hit the subscribe button below this video if you're using a mobile device. Today's podcast is brought to you by bullpenpicks.com. Sign up today and follow the top scorers each and every day right here at bullpenpicks.com. And yours truly, Ron Raymond, is the top scorer right now at Bullpen Picks at 783. Having a pretty good run in Major League Baseball. Art 55 is at 699, and Robert Schultz at 688. And those are your top three scorers right now at bullpenpicks.com. Today's show is also brought to you by the 24-Hour Rule. That's my new book that is out. You can get it right now at Amazon. And if you want to learn more about sports betting and some of the content in the book, go right to the fundamentals of the sports betting podcast, or not the podcast, the sports betting fundamentals. And I'll talk about that in just 1 second. Introduction to handicapping, the art of value betting, the power of trends and systems. We talk a lot about that on the show. The daily market value index. That's my see if we got value in the games we are handicapping. The type of teams in the league, the A, B's, and C's. Right, the ABCs. You know me. Hey, little money. Yeah, those are the ABCs of sports betting, and we talk about each and every day. A-type teams are teams with a 60 or higher win percentage. B-type teams are 50 to 59.9%, and C-type teams, those are like your old high school sweetheart. You know they're going to break your heart each and every time you bet them, and those are teams with a losing record. And their implications on when you're betting them each and every day. Betting on different sports, right? If you're betting a lot of sports, different sports, you got to approach it in a different way. Understanding, utilizing the cycles of sports betting. You know, it's team bearish, bullish, or neutral. Every team goes through a bit of a what I call a hiccup, and you can see right now the teams that are going through a hiccup: Arizona and Miami. Ooh boy, we'll talk about that in just 1 second. But that's the book. It's the art of sports betting. Well, that's one of the chapters. The 24-hour rule, and celebrate your victories and embracing patience and discipline in sports betting. You can get this book today at amazon.com or .ca, or go to the website, click on the 24-hour rule of betting, and just click on that banner. And it's going to take you to this page, and order your copy today at amazon.com or .ca. All right, good morning, good afternoon, and good night, wherever you are located on the World Wide Web. My name is Ron Raymond, a 5-time sports handicapper champion based out of Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. And it's a gloomy day here today in the nation's capital. A little bit overcast, 20 degrees though. The weather is not too bad, not too shabby today in the nation's capital. Hopefully it's not raining for practice tonight. Yeah, we talk about practice, right, Alan Iverson?
We're talking about practice.
Yeah, practice. Better not rain tonight at practice. Hey, I'm also a football coach, so I coach football here in the nation's capital. So, hey, fair weather coach. You can tell I'm offense, right? Defensive guys don't care about the weather. Offensive guys, yeah, we don't want rain. But no, looking forward to that. Looking forward to the show. Last week, Gil Melendez came on the show, Gil the Thrill, and we talked about his history of sports betting. And Gil will be on the show this Thursday, and we'll break down some of the NFL games on Thursday. You got Minnesota, Seattle, Atlanta, Miami, and Denver, Arizona. Those are your Thursday games, and we'll handicap that on Thursday with maybe with Gil the Thrill, see if he likes anything. But yeah, so looking forward to that. Got a good show lined up for you guys here today. In fact, if you go to the front page of atsstats.com, you're going to notice now that with your membership at ATS, you automatically get my 3-game pick back, my underdog game of the day, which was 4-0 before last night's. Man, that was a tough one. Hey, oh, that was real tough. It was not as tough as the Yankees with Boone losing it there on that game. But, you know, Kansas City, and here we go, going to cry over spilt milk again, but just a little bit. Kansas City, if you watched that game last night against Boston, that was a swing, and that was a third strike. If you saw the second strike, the third strike, it was a check swing that went fully over, and then next thing you know, you knew we were doomed, right? And then a grand slam, and the Boston Red Sox won 6-2. But that one stung a bit, right? You know, they needed 4 outs to really win that game last night. But hey, this is where you can make an argument for AI. And I know in the minors, they are now looking at you know, when you look at a baseball game, they show you the computer strike zone. Hey, you know what? I know, like, that was a check swing last night, but I don't know. Hey, maybe I'm just because I was on Kansas City a little. If I was on Tampa, if I was on Boston, I'd probably be the other way. But hey, it just goes to show you that who knows, right? On that check swing, I don't know how you get that call right. At the end of the day, you just want the call right, and it just wasn't right at the end. In my view, we saw it on the replay. It was a full swing, but I know Boston Red Sox fans are probably going to spam the comment section now. No, it was a good pitch. Yeah, but anyways, so the underdog play of the day last night was Kansas City. We lost that one. The computer picks, you also get that with your computer your membership with here at ATS Stats. And then NFL preseason week 1, I got my picks up for week 1, and you can get them right now at atsstats.com. All right, hopefully we got a good show for you guys today, and not hopefully, but we will do. We're going to talk about the probable quarterback rotations, and we'll talk about each team's. Also going to talk about the coordinators going into this season. I was talking to a buddy of mine this morning, and we were talking about the changing of the guard in the NFL, the quarterbacks, right? When you look at Aaron Rodgers, like after Aaron Rodgers, who's the next oldest statesman or the oldest quarterback in the league after Aaron Rodgers? So we'll take a look at that, and I got a feeling you're gonna start seeing a lot of RPO type systems in the NFL, and the way you're gonna have to approach the NFL this season is on defense. I know when you look at NFL football, you're thinking offense, you're thinking, the prime position of quarterback, receiver, running back. I think this is the year where you're going to have to handicap defense, and really, how do you stop RPO defense? Not every team in the NFL has an RPO type system, but I'm going to go through some of the quarterbacks here today that with the coordinators, and let you know which team that I think could be very dangerous running the football. And you're seeing at the beginning of this year, you see a lot of people talking about running backs not getting paid, right? And when you look at the rushing yards of running backs the last couple of years, what people are not accounting for is it's not that the running backs are not rushing the ball, it's that you got more quarterbacks rushing the football, right? So that I'll take a look at that today, and we'll see how that incorporates into your handicapping when you are handicapping the NFL. I think defense is going to play a big role when you're handicapping. We'll take a look at the CFL power ratings for week number 10. Montreal Alouettes going up in the ratings, and we'll take a look at that. All right, let's get to the horse racing industry. As we always do, we go feed the ponies, and let's see how which race track we're going to race and give you free picks on today. One minute to post time. All right, let them out. Yeah, they're off and running today at Mountaineer Park, and today at Mountaineer, first post time is 7 p.m. Eastern, $12,500 claiming race. The distance is 7 furlongs on the turf, and we're going to go 5-6-2 today at Mountaineer in race number 1. The number 5 horse, Motherwell with Oliveros, taking a ride here on the number 5 horse, 12-1 morning line on Motherwell. The 6 horse, Curiosity Kills, L.A. Batista taking a ride on Curiosity Kills, 6-1 morning line. Big odds here in race number 1. Lila Walla with Gonzalez taking a ride on the 2 horse, 10-1 morning line on La Walla. Try to say that 3 times in a row. And 5-6-2 is the races or the horses we're going to take here in race number 1 today at Mountaineer Park, and those are your free picks. And your joker, your value play of the day is the number 11 horse, Hot Heels. Number 11, Hot Heels, 6-1 morning line. Man, struggling this morning, eh? Struggling. Come on, Ron, let's get with it here. Number 11 horse, Hot Heels, with the J.A. Leon taking the ride here on the number 11 horse, Hot Heels, and that is your number Joker's Wild value play of the day, courtesy of the Raymond Report. You can get the Raymond Report each and every day right here at atsstats.com. Yeah, you see what happens when you get a long weekend and you don't do a lot of podcasts? You kind of get out of rhythm here. That's what I feel like. I feel like I'm out of rhythm. I'm struggling trying to catch up with my tongue here. My brain not matching my tongue. What's up, Coach? It's the network, and any NFL season leans here tonight. You know what? Who's Mizzou? We're going to talk about the NFL on Thursday when Gil the Thrill comes on. I'll look at, we're going to talk some NFL today, but we're not going to break down any games just for today. All right, also, Sunny Spring says, doing any Major League Baseball today? Yep, we're going to do some baseball.
Holy cow.
Yeah, holy cow. We're going to do some baseball. There's Lee Clark. Good morning, Lee. Good morning, everyone. And again, welcome to the podcast, guys. You can find us here every Tuesdays and Thursdays starting at 10 a.m. Easterns, and we'll break down some of the games for you guys here each and every day. Yeah, we're going to go through all the Major League Baseball, but before we get into Major League Baseball, in fact, you know what? Let's get right into Major League Baseball, and then I'll get into the NFL preseason quarterback rotations, and then I'll talk about the coordinators for NFL. We'll talk about RPO. We're going to talk about defense, and we'll see if we can get a strategy all lined up for the upcoming NFL football season. But before we get to today's games of the day, let's go look at the SBI, the Sports Betting Index, and as we always do, let's go see what has come in since. Remember, I keep talking about the SBI, and I talk about the favorites after the trade deadline. Let's see if my rationale, my theory, you know what, it's holding up pretty good. In fact, if you look at the last 7 days in Major League Baseball, the favorites have won 63.6% of their games, 36.4% for the underdogs. So if you are betting favorites right now in Major League Baseball, well, you're smiling like a butcher's dog because you're doing pretty well. And for the run line, the favorites also doing well, 56.6 compared to 43.4 for the underdog run line. I'm a dog player when it comes to the run line, and you can see right here we're in a very bullish market when it comes to, well, actually, you know what, neutral market the last 7 days. Bullish yesterday. Look at the yesterday, 7-4, only had 11 games. That's why we're in a bullish market. When it comes to the over-unders, the overs did pretty well yesterday, 7-4, and looking at the 7-day average, pretty much a coin toss at 50.4%. All right. Also, before we get to the daily games of the day, I want to break down some of the good, the bad, and the ugly for Major League Baseball since the All-Star break. So the All-Star break, I'm going to go back here. I believe it was July 14th. So since July 14th, what I've done is I went through all the games, all the teams. Man, come on, Ron, get your act together. Where's my Joe Namath? Okay. Struggling today on a Ruby Tuesday. All right, so let me take a look here. Here's the good teams. The good teams you want to keep an eye out right now. They're doing pretty well. The Toronto Blue Jays, 14-9 straight up since the All-Star break. But look at this, 6-15-2 to the under. Also, I'm going to go right here. Looking at Baltimore, 16-7, 12-11 to the over-under. Minnesota Twins, 15-8 straight up, and also 15-8 to the over-under. So Minnesota playing really well, winning 15 games since the All-Star break, and also 15 of those 23 games have gone over the total. Seattle Mariners 15-8, 11-12-0 to the under. The Texas Rangers 15-7, 9-13-0 to the under. The Houston Astros 14-8, they're starting to get hot right now, 10-11-1. Don't look now, but here's the Cubbies, 16-8. The Chicago Cubs, along with Baltimore, your hottest team since the All-Star break, 17-5-2 to the over. Hey, that is, think of it. You know, they're playing at Wrigley. If the wind's blowing in, not a lot of baseballs flying out of the park, right? 16-8 for the Cubbies, and the LA Dodgers 14-8, 15-6-1 to the over. So you know what's really interesting with some of these hot teams is that some of the hot teams, a lot of unders, and some of the hot ones, a lot of overs. Like you look at the Blue Jays, 6-15-2 to the under. You know, what's the cause of that? You know, good pitching, obviously. But when you look at the Blue Jays, you look at the last couple of games, you're like, okay, who's this starting, not starting, but the relief pitcher. And but they did get Genesis Cabrera. They got Hicks from St. Louis. So Blue Jays trying to get some help in the pitching department and doing very well, winning games also, 14-9 since the All-Star break. And then you look at teams like the Cubbies, 17-5-2 to the over, and then the Dodgers, 15-6-1 to the over. So teams that are doing really bad, Oakland obviously on the season, 7-14, but Miami, okay, those under the radar teams that I talked about at the beginning of the year, Miami Marlins, 5-17, 9-13-0, and Arizona, I'm not sure what's going on. Holy cow.
Holy
What is going on with Arizona? 5-17-0, 5-17 to the losses, and 7-14-1 to the under. So Arizona not really living to their expectation like they did the beginning of the year. So those are the some of the things I want to point out today. So when you're betting on baseball, everything goes in cycles, right? When I talk about the Raymond report, and let me go get the Raymond report. Thought I took it out here. Let me go play column. Nope. Let me go right here. We'll go to learn the Raymond report system. And if you're new to the website or the podcast, I talk about it in the book, the 24-hour rule. When you're looking at the fundamentals of sports betting, you're looking for value, the percentage play, performance cycles, player availability, and you got to use a key money management system. And now betting on baseball, the first two play a big part, right? You're looking for value and you're looking at the percentage play. And when you're betting baseball right now, when teams go through cycles, and I talk about that here all the time, right? Performance cycles, I talk about it in the book. Teams that are bearish, bullish, or neutral. And right now, you got a lot of teams that I just mentioned, like Toronto, Baltimore, Chicago, LA, and Seattle. Very bullish team. And when those teams that I mentioned, now think about this. Toronto, are you going to get a lot of value at Toronto? Probably not, because of the high-profile players they have, right? Guerrero, Bichette. But when you think of Baltimore, I think that's a team you're going to get a lot of value some days. Minnesota, you'll get good value in Minnesota. Seattle, absolutely. Texas, it could hit and run, like hit and miss type thing. Houston, no, you won't get a lot of value with Houston because, World Series champions. Chicago Cubs, yeah, you'll get a lot of value with the Cubbies, and you won't get no value with the Dodgers, right? And it's just reputation. It's about the reputation of those teams, having a good history the last 3, 4, 5 years. So those teams, obviously, because they've won, they're not going to have a lot of value when you bet on them, right? Now, you might if you get like the number 5 pitcher in the rotation going, so you could get that. Scott Christensen's 8-8-88 Cubs first night game. 8-8-88. What's that there, Scott? I don't get that one. 8-8-88. Not sure what that means, but I'm sure there's a meaning towards that, right? So anyways, wanted to get that out there for you guys. And at the end of the day, what do we want?
I want winners.
Winners, and let's get to your winners today. All right, you got a doubleheader today at Citizen Bank Park. You got the Phillies taking on the Nationals. Zach Wheeler going up against Trevor Williams. And you know what? I was gonna do a segment on pitchers today, but I'm not gonna do it. And it's about. I look at a lot of teams. I look at Cincinnati. I'll just do Cincinnati as an example. And I'm looking at, why is Cincinnati struggling, right? As Joe would say.
Struggling.
Why is the Reds struggling? And I go look at their depth chart, and I go look at their starting pitcher, and I'm like, okay, let's go take a look at the Cincinnati Reds. And let's go take a look at their rotation. And I'm saying, okay, look at this. Ben Lively out 15-day DL. Hunter Green, 60-day DL. Nick Lodolo, 60-day DL. Those are 3 of your top starting pitchers that are out. And then when you start looking at other teams and you're saying, well, John Means for Baltimore, he's been out a long time as well. And you look at some of the other pitchers on other teams. I look at Boston and look at the Chris Sale, Tanner Hook. A lot of these teams are Arizona. Arizona 5-17. And when you look at Arizona, Zach Davies 15-day DL, Tommy Henry 15-day DL, Merrill Kelly just came back. There's a lot of pitching going on in Major League Baseball, and then sometimes you got to wonder: is there too many games? Is there just too many games? And I said I wasn't going to make a segment about this, but I feel like I already started. Anyway, I won't get really deep down into the pitching, but it seems to me a lot of starting pitchers are going on the DL. And when you look back in the late 90s, early 2000s, the Roger Clemens, the Randy Johnsons, the Pedro Martinez, those guys were going 7-8 innings. And today, with arm health, a big issue and question, you really got to take care of your arms, right? Especially in football and quarterbacks, we talk about all the time about arm health. But in Major League Baseball, there's too many good pitchers on the DL right now, and I think it's something that Major League Baseball probably needs to look at, right? Anyways, I don't want to get a big topic into that, but a lot of good pitchers on the DL right now, and it's a little bit concerning. All right, so Philadelphia doubleheader here today against the Nationals. Nationals been doing pretty well. They've been my team on the weekend. They played Cincinnati. They had a pretty good run. In fact, they won their last game 6-3 against the Reds. Now they're on a 4-game win streak, but the bad news is they're playing against the Philadelphia Phillies, who are a pretty good team. They're 61-51 on the season, and looking at the last 10, 6-4, we do have Philly winning today in game number 1, 5.51 to 2.9, the over-under landing on 8.48. So we do like the first game to go under the total, and we're going to give the Phillies a 72.7% chance of winning. Last 3 games for the Phillies have gone over the total. All right, Misery Loves Company. They're going to meet today at the Great American Ballpark. That's right, Cincinnati going to send Luke Weaver to the hill against Braxton Garrett of the Miami Marlins. Marlins, though, a 145 favorite in this one, 10.5 is the total, and we're going to lean with Miami in this. 5.2 to 4.7, the over-under at 10.02, so we do like this game to stay under the total. That's a very high total of 10.5. Marlins coming in on a 5-game losing streak, and they're only 2-8 in their last 10 games, and they are 5-17 since the All-Star break. So Maryland's not having a good run, and Cincinnati, I just I gave you one good reason why they're struggling with 3 of their top pitchers out, and they only have a 45.3% chance of winning, and the last 5 games for the Reds have gone under the total. Minnesota Twins taking on Detroit Tigers. Now the Twinkies, a -120 road favorite. The over-under listed at 8. ATS forecast system play going to lean with the Twinkies in this one. 4.09 to 4.07. The over-under at 8.16. We did have Minnesota in one of our free plays yesterday here on the Rain Report channel, and 9-3 victory for the Twins. And Lex Steele's in the house. How you doing, Lex? Supness, and thanks for tuning in today, Lex. And going back to Minnesota, they are 6-4 in the last 10 games. They're going to send Sonny Gray to the hill today against Eduardo Rodriguez for the Tigers. And looking at the numbers for both these starting pitchers today, and let me go right here. Sonny Gray on the season, and he is 5-4, 3.18 ERA, where Rodriguez, the lefty, 7-5, a 2.96 ERA. And so maybe the under might be a lean here today for the game between the Twins and the Tigers. And we do have Minnesota winning, but we do have the total going at 8.16. So according to the computer picks, it likes it to go over. What's the Kogo at? Kogo's at 42%. So the Kogo stands for chance of game going over the total. So if it's at 42, that means we have a 58% chance of going under. I kind of like the under. I like the 2 starting pitchers today. And again, arm health, right? If we look at the starting pitcher, if we look at Sonny Gray's last start, let's see how many innings Sonny went in his last game. Sonny played against St. Louis, went 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 1 home run, no walks, 8 Ks in that game. And for Eduardo Rodriguez, I thought it was a West Coast game he started. Let me go check out Eduardo. And the lefty, last game, it was at Pittsburgh, August 2nd, and only 6 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 5 Ks, and did not allow a home run. So a good pitching matchup today at Detroit Comerica Park. I think the under is where you probably want to make some money here today. All right, let's go to the next game here between Tampa Bay and the St. Louis Cardinals. Now the Rays, a 175 favorite. I had them listed here on my value index at -229, but you know what? That's the Tampa Bay Rays of the prior to the All-Star break, because Tampa Bay right now, even though they've gotten their stride a bit, 6-4 in the last 10, coming off a 10-6 win over Detroit. Strength of schedule has helped them the last few series, and 68-46 on the year. But don't look now. Baltimore, your top team in the American League East with 70 wins. Tampa Bay has got 68 wins, and who would have thought, beginning of the year, Tampa Bay would be like the wild card spot here, right? The way they were going, you thought they would run away with it, but nope. Here comes Baltimore. Who had Baltimore winning the AL East at the beginning of the year? I know I didn't. St. Louis, here the total, they're going to send Miles Mikolas to the hill. For the Cardinals, their last 2 games have gone under. Both these teams playing on 1 day's rest. The Cardinals really disappointing this year, 49-64, 3-7 in their last 10 games, and we do have the Cardinals winning on the road here. You know what? St. Louis plus a run and a half might be the way to go here. I think St. Louis is a dog. Might be a nice play. I think you're getting a way overvalued. I think they're overvalued at 175. They're not playing like a 175 team. I know my line says -229, but That's based mostly on the success they had prior to the All-Star break. So you got to make adjustments on the fly. And the chance of winning, look at that, St. Louis 60.6. So even though they're 3-7, they're neutral in their last 7 games. Tampa Bay bullish. Interesting. Zach Eflin going here for the Rays. Miles Mikolas. Let me check out his last start. Miles Mikolas, last couple of starts, 6-7, 4.29 ERA. Last game, 7 innings. And you know what? There was the game against the Cubs. He never even got out of the first innings at Wrigley. No, it was at home against Chicago, and he made 14 pitches. But he must have got injured that game because only went two outs in that first game against the Cubbies on July 27th. But last game, 7 innings, 109 pitches. So we'll see if Miles in fine form tonight at Tropicana. All right, let me see here. Another game between Houston and Baltimore. Wow, talk about a great matchup this is going to be. Grayson Rodriguez up against Framber Valdez of the Houston Astros. And looking at the Stros, minus 130, 8 is the total. And we're going to lean with the Houston Astros in this one. 4.02 to 3.7, the over-under at 7.76. Baltimore, as I mentioned, they are 16-7 since the All-Star break. And don't look now, Houston, they're doing really well, 14-8. So, you know what? Can you trust Houston as a road favorite right now in Baltimore at Camden Yards when Baltimore playing really good baseball, 8-2 in their last 10. They're on a 4-game win streak coming off a 2-0 win over the Mets in their last game, and they're on 1 day's rest. Both these teams are on 1 day's rest. This is going to be a great matchup. I'm going to go with the experienced team here. I'm going to take Houston over Baltimore, and I really like the Stros in this one. All right, let's go to PNC Park where the Pirates are going to host the Atlanta Braves, who are 6-4 straight up in the last 10 games. However, they're on a 3-game losing streak. And wow, what's going on with the Atlanta Braves right now? We're going to send Yanni Chirinos to the hill, the former Tampa Bay Rays, up against Mitch Keller for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Keller having a pretty good season. In fact, when you look at his record on the year, he is 9-8, a 4.35 ERA. He started really hot on the season, cooled off just a bit, but according to the computer pick, we're going to lean with the Braves to bounce back. 5.2 to 4.5, the over-under at 9.79. So we do like this game to stay under the total. Again, Atlanta coming in a 3-game lose streak. Last 3 games I've gone over, while the Pittsburgh Pirates 6-4 straight up and 6-4 to the over. I did have the Atlanta Braves listed at minus 193. So if you do like Atlanta today, you are getting a nice discount at minus 160. And the Kogo, the chance of this one going over the total is at 39%, meaning a 61% chance of going under. And that's the game between the Braves and the Pittsburgh Pirates. You know what? The under could be a nice play here. The over-under is pretty high here at 10. That's a very high total right there at 10. Maybe the under is where you want to go. Until if you don't like the side, if you don't like Atlanta with that 3-game losing streak, maybe the under is where you want to go. But the good news is they're getting out of... Oh no, they lost to Pittsburgh 7-6. Yeah, no good news, eh? There's game number 2, that game between the Phillies and Nationals. The first game is going to be, I believe I saw 4:05 Eastern. Is that the time? Yeah, 4:05. And the second game tonight will be at 7:05 at Citizens Bank Park. So if you like the Phillies in game number 2, so does the computer. 5.1 to 3.4. The over/under at 8.58. Cubbies taking on the New York Mets. Now the Cubs, a minus 130 road favorite. The over-under at 9.5. ATS forecast system play going to go with Jameson Taillon over Carlos Carrasco. 5.03 to 4.6. The over-under landing on 9.69. So we do like this game to fly over the total. And looking at the Cubbies last game, an 11-2 spanking over the Mets yesterday. And the chance of winning this game does go to the Cubs though. And keep in mind, Chicago 16-8, 17-5-2 to the over since the All-Star break, and they are 6-4 in the last 10 games. Hate betting the Braves under, says Primetime 99. Yeah, I don't blame you, especially when they're going through a little bit of a hiccup right now. And for the Mets, yeah, you know what? Mets have thrown in the season here. 3-7 straight up, 6-3-1, and I did have the Cubbies listed at minus 139 on my value index. So if you do like the Cubbies, fair market value today at Citi Field. Kansas City against the Boston Red Sox. Yeah, we got robbed last night in that one. That was, you know what? That was a called strike. I don't care what anybody says. That was a swing in the last, in the bottom of the ninth. But Can't cry over spilt milk. Boston did win that game 6-2 with a grand slam. Minus 185 is the line here today. And the starting pitcher with probably the best name as a pitcher in baseball, Cutter Crawford, going up against Brady Singer of the Kansas City Royals. And we're going to lean with Cutter Crawford and the Bull Sox in this one. 5.47, 4.24, the over-under at 9.71. So we do like this game to go over the total. Kansas City coming in on a 3-game losing streak. Last 5 games for the Royals have gone over the total, while the Boston Red Sox, they are struggling. Well, they didn't struggle last night. They won 3-7 in their last 10 games. I had them listed at minus 171. So if you like Boston today, a B-type team over a C-type team who is neutral in the Royals. Now, C-type team in the Rain Report just means the team is 50% or lower in the standings. Neutral means they're either 4-3, 3-4 in their last 7 games. So that's the cycle they're in when you're looking at the market psychology of the Kansas City Royals. The public thinks they're a neutral team, so there could be a good bet here today. Again, might go back to the well. I might take Kansas City on the run line plus 1.5, but you know what? It's been a favorite run line market the last 7 days, so I might lean more towards the totals today when it comes to sports betting. And that's the thing with sports betting. If you don't follow the markets, you don't see what the SBI is doing each and every day, the sports betting index, and if you bet blindly, you got to be very, very careful. Boston Bears 3-7 in the last 10, and we do have them winning here, but I think the run line is where you want to go. All right, game of the night will be in Cleveland, where the Toronto Blue Jays gonna take on the Cleveland Guardians. Now Tanner Bibby gonna go here for the Guardian. He'll be up against Yusei Kikuchi for the Toronto Blue Jays, and let's go take a look at Kikuchi's record on the year. Hey, he's having a great season. 9-3, a 3.67 ERA. Tanner Bibby 7-2, 3.14 ERA. Right off the hop, what's your first instinct, right? And you're thinking under. If you're thinking under, the whole market's thinking under, right? So be careful. Be careful at that. I know Cleveland plays a lot of under games, and when you go look at the Cleveland Guardians, in fact, let me go to the Ram Report, and let me go take a look at the Cleveland Guardians at home this season. And here's the thing, right? In sports betting, there's like a market consensus, right? The market's conscience. Maybe that's a better word. There's a market conscience where everybody like dips into this conscious pool and thinking the same thing, right? We're all thinking, okay, you know what? Cleveland Guardians, 19-34-3 at unders at home. They do very, very well with the unders. In fact, when I go look at the numbers down here, 7-19 coming off a loss. And what else we got here? Last 45 days been pretty still under, but not earth-shattering. Coming off a loss in game 1 of a series, 3-7 to the under. You got Tanner Bibby, Yusei Kikuchi going here tonight. That's the only thing that concerns me is when everybody loves one side. What's the golden rule of sports betting, right? You're supposed to go the other way. But that's my only concern going here tonight, because the Kogo is at a very high 62%. Kogo stands for chance of game going over the total. You got B bullish against C bearish. And we do have a final score of 4.39, 4.27, the over-under at 8.66. And when you look at the Toronto Blue Jays, since the All-Star break, 6-15-2 to the under. So if you look at the Toronto Blue Jays, let me go to my Blue Jay report right here. 14-9, 6-15-2 to the under. And let me see the last few games. You can see that was a push last night, 7-2. Right down here, 3-1. So 3-4. Wow, look at this, Blue Jays. You look at the since 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of their last 10 or last 12 games have gone under the total. So that's the one thing about when you're a streak better, or you follow like progression betting, where you like to bet the under based on the team's performance in the cycle. Again, everybody's going to look at the under here today. It just one of my golden rules is when everybody loves one side, you go to the other way, right? So maybe I get off the total in this one. I kind of like the Blue Jays. I do like Kikuchi going here, but looking at the cow, the chance of winning this game on the percentage play, the thing I do like though, Cleveland's not over 50%. So at 45.9, 37.2, Toronto coming in hot. Great series at Fenway. They took 3 over the Red Sox. Now they win game number 1 against the Guardians. I think Toronto's the play here. Minus 125. I had 141 on my value index, so I think we're getting great value today on the Toronto Blue Jays. 125. Again, be careful if you're betting the total. It's just that it looks too obvious to me. Hey, if it looks too obvious, it probably is, right? If it's too good to be true, it probably is. Colorado taking on the Milwaukee Brewers. Minus 210 is the hefty price tag here today. Holy cow, hey, Harry? Yeah, minus 210, 175 is the total, and you can see here we do have the Brew Crew winning 5.3 to 3.48, the over-under, landing on 8.85, so we do like this game to fly over the total. Colorado got spanked yesterday, 12-1 was the final, and looking at their last 10 games, 4-6 straight up. Same thing for the Milwaukee Brewers, so Milwaukee not really, playing the lights out baseball, 4-6, but still having a good run. In fact, let's go take a look at the division right here. Let me go back to the standings and let me take a look at Milwaukee in the leading the Central Division. You know what, 61-53, but Cincinnati's struggling. And I talked about Lively's out, all the Lodolo's out for Cincinnati. It's the Cubbies you got to watch out for. I think the Cubbies are going to start putting a run, and you know what? I think if you want to do a futures bet on who wins the Central, I think you want to go Cubs. I think Cubs are the team that nobody wants to play right now. So keep an eye on the Cubbies, but looking at Milwaukee, the thing is when you're it's like a horse race, right? When you get to the wire and you're the leading horse, the toughest thing to do is go from the wire to the gate, right? Because you got your stalkers right behind you, and right now the Cubbies are stalking the Brew Crew. And Pittsburgh, well, I know Pittsburgh's the second team right there, Cincinnati, 60-55, but 3-7 in the last 10. Cincinnati, they need their pitching rotation back, because without Lodolo and Lively back in the rotation, I think Cincinnati is going to be really hurting here. But anyway, getting back to this one, 5.3 to 3.48. I really don't like this game. One, the price is too expensive, and can you trust Colorado on the road, right? If you go look at the Rain report, let's go take a look at Colorado's record on the road. And let me see here. And survey says, don't forget, hey guys, you can get the free RAM report. Go to matchups and get the RAM report light. You can get it each and every day. Yeah, look at that, 19-38 on the road this season, 25-30 for Colorado at Coors this season. So better team at home, obviously. Coming off a road loss as an underdog, 7-22 on the year. Coming off an over, 5-14. Yeah, so you know what, Colorado. Here's the thing: if you like Milwaukee, or if you like Colorado, the good news is that Milwaukee's not having a great run. So it's I don't know. I think it's a game I just can't trust. I can't trust Colorado, C-type team. If you do like Colorado, beer and pizza money. All right, New York Yankees taking on the Chicago White Sox. Yankees minus 160 favorite. I had them listed at minus 154, and you got Clark Schmidt going up against Touki Toussaint of the Chicago White Sox. The White Sox 5-5 last 10, 3-7 to the under, and looking at the New York Yankees, they are 4-6. Again, I can't trust the Yankees right now. The Yankees are too inconsistent. Come on, you go into Chicago after that big fight on the weekend, and they look like down and out, and you can't even beat the Chicago White Sox. That's a problem to me. When you got a team down, and from a market and a team psychology, team toughness perspective, right? Hey, but you know what? Yeah, but no, Anderson didn't get the better. And I was gonna say, maybe if Anderson would have got the knockout punch, maybe it helps the team grow. But yeah, when one of your teammates get knocked out, you thought there'd be a little bit of of a letdown factor here with the White Sox. But no, you know what? Got to give them credit. They bounced back last night. 5-1 was the final. So the Yankees. As much as you probably want to bet the Yankees, I think you want to stay off the Yankees. If you like this game, I would recommend the total. I wouldn't trust. I don't think you can trust the Yankees as far as you can throw them right now, right? So I don't think you want to go that game. And the good news about baseball, there's 15 other games, there is 15 because there's a doubleheader in Philly. So yeah, maybe a game you want to pass on. San Francisco taking on the LA Angels. The Halos going to host the Giants. Big win last night. That was our free play of the day. And again, guys, you can get my free pick each and every day if you go to the website at ATS Stats. Go to the picks, go to Ron Raymond's picks, and you'll see last night San Francisco was my free play of the day, and we did have a winner for you right there. In fact, the free picks have been on fire. If you've been betting our free picks, you're doing pretty well. All right, minus 115 is the line. Good line value. I had minus 145, and you're getting Scott Alexander against Lucas Giolito, newly acquired Lucas Giolito, who's 6-8 on the year, a 4.36 ERA. But keep an eye out, because I'm seeing Alex Wood might get the assignment, and that's the thing, right? It says on the feed Scott Alexander, but here on the site that I go visit sometime to get the pitching stats, it says Alex Wood. So check your local listings to see which pitcher's going. But according to the computer, we're still gonna lean with the Giants, 4.7 to 3.4. The over/under at 8.14. Seattle Mariners, the team who's 15-8 since the All-Star break, taking on San Diego, the Padres, who are 6-4 straight up in their last 10 games, coming off a big loss last night. In fact, they were leading early, and then they got smoked. They were up 4-0, and then they lost 13-7 against the Dodgers. Today, Nick Martinez is going to go for the Padres. He'll be up against Logan Gilbert of the Seattle Mariners. And looking at Gilbert on the season, having a pretty good season, 9-5, 3.86 ERA. Nick Martinez, 5-4, 3.68 ERA. And we are going to lean with the Seattle Mariners, who since the All-Star break, 15-8, having a good run, 8-2 in their last 10. And we do like Seattle today, 4.6 to 4.1. The over/under at 8.78. And we're going to give the team on a 5-game win streak a 58.06% chance of winning against San Diego, who were only given 39.1. And your Kogo sitting right there at 43%. Again, Kogo stands for chance of game going over the total. Speaking of an over, look at San Diego here. The Padres on a 6-game over streak. That's because they played the Dodgers, who's since the All-Star break are 15-6-1 to the over, so that'll do it. Speaking of the Dodgers, whose last 7 games I've gone over the total, they're going to take on a team that's really, as Joe Namath would say, struggling. Brandon Pfaff going up against Julio Urias for the LA Dodgers, and we do have the Dodgers listed at minus 155. I had them listed at minus 136, and you're getting an overvalued play on the Dodgers. I think Dodgers is a really good play here at 155, and we're going to give them a 54.3% chance of winning compared to 50% for the Arizona Diamondbacks, who are on a 6-game losing streak, 1-9 to the under. And if you look at Arizona, on their over-under record, 7-14-1 since the break. And we're going to go with the Dodger Blue here all day, all night. And your last game of the evening, Texas Rangers taking on the Oakland Athletics, minus 250 for the hefty price tag. That's because you're getting Mad Max Scherzer on the hill against JP Sears. And looking at the Texas Rangers, they're riding a 7-game win streak, 7-3 in the last 10. Had them listed at minus 152. So, take a big tall glass of milk to wash out all that chalk. If you're gonna lay 250, you're gonna eat a lot of chalk here today. And we do like Texas at 4.9 to 3.5. The over/under at 8.48. So we do like this game to stay under the total today at Oakland Ring Central Coliseum. All right, if there's a game you want me to handicap, just put it in the comment section. If you guys want me to handicap one game for you, put it into the comment section. I'll bring up the game on the Rain Report, and we'll handicap that for you. All right, speaking of the Rain Report, here it is. And guys, don't forget the matchup report. You go to the website, atsstats.com, go to matchup. In the pull-down menu, go get the game of your choice. So let's say if we go to that Toronto Blue Jay game, you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see that the Blue Jays are 9-3 as a away team, coming off an American Central Division opponent this season. So if you do like the Blue Jays, there's some good stats and trends, which we'll get to later on in the show. All right, so let's go to NFL. Reds game, please. All right, let's do Cincinnati. You know how I feel about the Reds, right? It's just that a team like Cincinnati right now, without their starting pitching, and it affects the psyche of the team. When you don't have, here's the thing, when you start your baseball game and you don't have your starting pitcher that you're used to every 5th day in the rotation, like Ben Lively, Lodolo, who's having a pretty good year, and you're missing also, let me go check out that Cincinnati rotation. We talked about it earlier, right? There's one I'm missing right now, Cincinnati. So let's go to the Reds. Okay, Cincinnati. So you're missing Lodolo, Hunter Green. So you're missing some really, really good pitchers. So that's why Cincinnati is not doing too well right now. You're missing your second baseman, Jonathan India, who's on the 10-day DL. So right away, even though Joey Votto comes in, gave you energy, a veteran leader to give you that, he did what he was supposed to do. He came in off the injured reserve list, and he boosted the team. They had a great run, but and then you see a player like who's their sensation there? Eli De La Cruz. Been pretty quiet lately. Eli De La Cruz, let me go look at his numbers of late. So 3 at bats, no hits, 1 run. So he must have got a walk. Yeah. So yeah, Eli De La Cruz only got in his last 5 games, only got 1 hit per game, which is still 250, right? If you got 4 at bats, he's batting 250, but he's still a rookie, he's still young, so we'll see. But going back to this game for good friend Scott, let me go. Blue Jays or Cleveland, side pick, please. All right, we'll do that in a second. Williamson looked great yesterday, and team was jacked with the win. All right, so let me take Cincinnati right here. Let's go to the Reds. Where's the Reds game? Hey, I got my glasses on, and I know I should see it. But, misery loves company, right? So you're playing the Marlins. Why are the Marlins favored here? Minus 145. Let me go check what Bookmaker has. And let me see right here. The Miami Marlins, 150. Line's going up. So the line is going up on the... so the lines we use is Pinnacle. To me, Pinnacle is the, for baseball, one of the best lines. Back in the day, remember 104 lines? Probably still 104 in Pinnacle. Hey, Pinnacle and the Greek, remember the Greek.com? Some of the best baseball lines back in the day. Minus 145, 10 is the total. Luke Weaver going here for Cincinnati. And let's go take a look at Weaver's number on the season. Let me go to my lineup. All right, Luke Weaver, 2-4, 6.98 ERA.
Struggling.
Yeah, struggling. Went 3 innings last game, 6 innings against the Dodgers. Pretty good against the Dodgers. 4 innings against Arizona, 2.2 against San Fran, 3.2 against Milwaukee. Yeah, not good. Not good. Yeah, not looking good there, Scott. Probably a game you want to stay away from, to be honest. Cincinnati. If you bet this game, obviously, here's the thing, right? When you're handicapping sports and you're looking, what's your first gut reaction telling you right away? If I say Miami against Cincinnati, 2-8 in the last 10 for Miami, 3-7 for Cincinnati. What's your first gut reaction? And look at the over/under, 3-7, right? My first gut reaction when I saw the total is like, okay, Bookmaker is thinking of a high-scoring game, but they've been playing a lot of low-scoring affairs, right? Look at the last 10 for both these teams, 6-14 combined in the last 10. What's the Kogo at? Kogo is at 60. No, where's the Kogo? Where is the Kogo chance of this one going over? 68%. Wow. All right, so right away, you're thinking over, right? And that's what I was thinking. Well, what's your first gut reaction? My first gut reaction when I saw Weaver against Garrett, I said, you know what, maybe the over. And but it's just look at the under, though, right? When you start thinking like that, and you start thinking like my good friend Ross says all the time, think like a bookmaker. If my first gut reaction was over, that's what probably the general public is thinking. But you got 2 teams who really struggling lately, right? So don't like this. And if you look at Cincinnati at home against team with a B-type record, 50 to 59.9. And what's Miami's record right now? Hey, Miami had a really good start, but look at that. They're 3 games away from being a team with a losing record. So are they really a team? Here's the question. Is Miami playing like a team that has a 50 to 59.9 win percentage? Are they playing like a B-type team? I don't think so. If you look at their last 10 games, 2-8, averaging 5.6 runs against, 3.4 runs per game. And if you scroll right down and you look at the Cincinnati-Miami game, all right, so Miami on the road this year, averaging 3.9 runs for, giving up 4.7, whereas Cincinnati at home, 4.8. You know what? The one thing with Cincinnati on offense is very consistent, 4.8, 4.8, and 4.9. So overall, home and away, pretty consistent. And you know what? Last 3 games for Miami, they're not hitting, and neither is, Cincinnati, you can say they're pretty much average, right? If you round this off, it's 4. Man, this is it's like putting makeup on a pig here. This is an ugly game to handicap. 12-6 to the over in the second game of a series. Hey, what's my golden rule of sports betting? When in doubt, get out. So I don't force picks. The one thing I don't do in sports betting is I don't try to force a pick. And like I said, we're handicapping a really tough game here, and it's just the inconsistency. And when you look at Cincinnati at home against those B-type teams, 6-17-0 to the under. To be honest with you, Scott, I think you don't even touch this game. Blue Jays or Cleveland side pick. Yeah, I like the. I said I like Toronto. I like the Blue Jays in this one. Again, I think the whole world's going to be on the under tonight for this game, and who can blame them, right? Cincinnati playing a lot of unders. Blue Jays, when you think of the Blue Jays and you think of a team that with all that offense, you would think a lot of overs, right? But not so fast, my friend, as Lee Corso would say. 17-33-4 at home at the Rogers Center, but on the road, pretty much balanced, 29-29-2. And if you look at the Blue Jays' last few games, let's go look at the Blue Jays' last 7 games. 5-2, averaging 5.1 run per game, 4.1. Yeah. I like the Blue Jays here. I do like the Blue Jays. When they're on the road against a team with a losing record, they're 11-6 on the year. So I like the Blue Jays. Sunny, hey, Sunny Gray. All right. So if you have a game you want me to handicap, just put it up. Let's go to the NFL. And here on the front page of the of ATSstats.com, your probable starting pitchers. Hey, I'm in baseball mode. If you want to know the rotations of the quarterbacks, here's what you're looking at, right? And when I was looking at this list, and I'm looking at the approach I'm going to take this year, let's take a look at the starting quarterbacks in the NFL. All right, Kyler Murray, I don't think he's going to be back this year. I've coached football for many, many years, and the one thing when you get an ACL injury or MCL, ACL, that is one of the toughest injuries to come back from. To me, it's a 2-year injury, and you can ask any coach or doctor. It's just there's so much, especially at the quarterback position, where your instincts are like your start and stop from a very fast position. You're putting a lot of stress on that knee, right? I hope Kyler Murray comes back, but I know from coaching a lot of players, ACLs are very tough to come back. It's very, very rare you see somebody come back from an ACL, and it wasn't even last year. It's like last January, February, or December he got injured. I'd be very shocked if we see Kyler Murray a lot this year. Looking at the Atlanta, Desmond Ridder, right? Probably gonna rookie or come from Cincinnati. Lamar Jackson. Take a look at all these quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson, running quarterback. Josh Allen. You know what? Josh is he can throw, he can run. He's very flexible, right? That way. Josh Allen, really good quarterback. Bryce Young, rookie, coming from Alabama. RPO type system. I think this year, when you're going to handicap NFL football, you really got to concentrate on defenses and the defense coordinators. Back in the air raid days where Hal Mummy and Mike Leach, those air raid guys, Kingsbury when he was at Arizona or Texas Tech, those air raid type offense, you're going to start seeing now more RPO type offense, right? You saw it last year with the Eagles. I think you got to really put a lot of stress because the defensive coordinators have caught on and caught up with the offenses. Last 10 years, we talk a lot about offense, not a lot about defense. I think this is going to be the year of the defenses where we talk a lot about defensive coordinators. And you know what? Maybe I'm going to talk about the offensive coordinators in just 1 minute. I think I might do an article just on the defensive coordinators because I think this year, DCs are going to get paid. I think defensive coordinators this year are going to get paid by stopping the high-octane offense who have a RPO type systems, right? Looking at Justin Field. Hey, Justin Field last year, 160 rushes, 1,143 yards rushing, 7.1 rush per average per game, right? So this is going to be something else to see the Bears and the RPO offense. Joe Burrow, let's hope the calf muscle gets healed for week 1. The one thing, it looked like a calf muscle. At first we thought, oh no, Achilles, but it looks like it's a calf muscle. If it's a calf muscle that's torn, it all depends on the grade of the tear, right? If it's a grade 1, grade 2, grade 3 tear. If it's a grade 2 tear, I can tell you because I tore my calf muscle at a football camp here early in May. It's a 6-week injury, but 8 week. But I'm 54, so Joe Burrow's a little younger. Hopefully he heals better, right? But I think Joe Burrow's, if he tore his is it grade 1, grade 2, grade 3? We don't know. If it's a grade 2, I guarantee you he won't be back for another few weeks. Cleveland Brown, Deshaun Watson. We'll see. Joshua Dobbs. Look at all these names. Like, we have a changing of the guard right now. When Aaron Rodgers is the grandfather of quarterbacks right now, Russell Wilson, Dak Prescott for Dallas, you got Jared Goff. Jared Goff, it's very interesting. It's like the Tennessee quarterback. When you look at the Tennessee Titans in Ryan Tannehill, Ryan Tannehill really grew into a good quarterback, and I got a feeling Jared Goff with Detroit might be like a Tannehill type quarterback where he gets better and better and more confident every year. So we'll see what happens to Goff this year. Jordan Love, jury's still out. We'll see what happens as his first. This is the year he doesn't have Aaron Rodgers looking over his shoulder, or he was looking over Aaron's shoulder. You got C.J. Stroud, former Ohio State quarterback. Is it Ohio State? Yeah, but it's C.J. Stroud. We'll see there. Anthony Richardson. The thing with Richardson at Florida, 103 rushes, 654 yards rushing. So we'll see if there's an RPO type system in Indianapolis this year. Trevor Lawrence, you know what? In 2019, he had 103 carries, 563 yards, but he didn't run a lot in 2020. So you know what? We know he can run, but not a big running quarterback. The last year of his college year, I didn't check his record last year, how many rushes, but. When you think of Trevor Lawrence, do you think of an RPO type quarterback? Patrick Mahomes, most versatile quarterback right now in the NFL, probably the best quarterback in the NFL right now. Jimmy Garoppolo, you just want Jimmy to stay healthy, right? If Jimmy can stay healthy, but he's not a running type quarterback. Justin Herbert, same thing. Matthew Stafford, getting up there in age, right too. But you know what? When you think of older quarterbacks, when you thought of like Brady, Rodgers, obviously you don't put Stafford in that crew, right? When at the old age, but Tua Tagovailoa, again, stay healthy, injury free. Kirk Cousins, not a runner, that's for sure, but not an RPO type system. Mac Jones, not an RPO type, even though Alabama was an RPO in the last couple of years. Do you see Mac Jones as an RPO guy? I don't. New Orleans with Derek Carr. Derek Carr, no. Daniel Jones. You know what? Daniel Jones, the fifth leading rusher last year in the NFL. Daniel Jones had 120 carries, 708 yards, 5.9 rushes per game. So he can run the football. Aaron Rodgers, I can probably run faster than Aaron Rodgers. Hey, maybe not. Jalen Hurts, the number 4 leading rusher last year, 165 attempts, 760 yards, only averaged 4.6 runs per game. So that was an interesting stat. Kenny Pickett, we'll see this year. Brock Purdy, Geno Smith. See all these older quarterbacks. The older quarterbacks in the Tom Brady's, the Rodgers, these are future Hall of Famers. I don't put Geno Smith. I don't put let me see here, Kirk Cousins, Matt Stafford. I don't put these guys in the Hall of Fame like you did the older quarterback. There's a changing of the guard in the NFL. Baker Mayfield in Tampa Bay, Ryan Tannehill, like a fine wine, right? Getting better and better with age. It's just that the backup situation is a little concerning in Tennessee, right? Will Levis and Malik Willis. And then you got Sam Howell, Jacoby Brissett in Washington. So when you look at the changing of the guard in the NFL, I look at these quarterbacks and I got a feeling we're going to see a lot of unders this year. I just got a feeling quarterbacks, it's just the changing of the guard, and it's going to take time. It's like the CFL right now. When you look at the Canadian Football League, you look at all these young quarterbacks in the Canadian Football League trying to get their feet wet, and it takes time to really mature and be a good decision maker. The thing is with quarterbacks, and the one thing I can tell you from experience, it's about decision making, and you want to make the right decision. The thing that drives offensive coordinators nuts is when you get a concept and you tell your quarterbacks to read, and you go through your progressions, and then next thing you know, they're not making the right progression read, and you're saying, okay, that's the third progression. Why would you go to your third progression, almost like a check down, when you're supposed to go to your first progression, right? The thing in football, I always say, if you're in the pros, you can make a 3-read progression. If you're in college, 2. If you're in high school, 1 or 2, maybe 2. It's 1, 2, then you, right? That's the one thing we tell our quarterbacks. When you're making a read, go to your first read, second read, then it's you. 1, 2, then you. But looking at these quarterbacks right now, yeah, Josh Allen could be one of those, Aaron Rodgers type of Brady, older statement, future probably Hall of Famer. He has to have a good year. And the thing with Allen, you got to win playoff games. Yeah, I'm a Bills fan, so I might be a little bit biased when I talk about the Bills. But to me, I'm a realist, right? And the thing is, Josh Allen plays. I love the way he plays football, but you got to win. You got to win playoff games. At the end of the day, you got to win playoff games. That's what gets you to good to great, right? So anyways, I thought about that today. I said, you know what, let's talk about the preseason quarterbacks, the rotations. And if you're a member of ATS, you can get that at the website. Just look for the Kyler Murray picture, click on it, and you'll get that. All right, let's go to the offensive coordinators. Brian Schottenheimer, going to be at Dallas, has a long history in the NFL with mixed results. And the thing I like about this article is it tells you the type of coordinator that they are, right? And if you read the article, it tells you if they're balanced, if they're run. The one thing I saw is that you got an offensive coach, offensive line coach. Anytime you get an offensive line coach, you know they're going to be a lot heavy run oriented, right? O-line coaches, all they want to do is run the ball. Seems to be a lot of offense coordinator change. Yeah, a lot of offense coordinator change, Scott. All right, so Brian Schottenheimer, his previous role often leads toward a balanced attack, but his run-first approach with the Seahawks led to a lot of criticism, right? Especially in the Super Bowl. Hey, Marshawn Lynch. Mike Kafka, the New York Giants, from Kansas City, where the offense under Reid was very aggressive. But you know what? The thing is with Mike Kafka, you weren't the play caller, and like Andy Reid, and I know Bieniemy was also there, but Andy Reid, I bet you Andy Reid made a lot of those calls in crucial times, right? But the one thing is, it's like the Holmgren tree, right? The coaching tree. In New York, he was a quarterback coach and passing coordinator, and there's a reason to expect. So he's a quarterback coach and a passing coordinator. So right there, it tells me, what about the run game, right? So if you think of the Giants, what about the run game? You got Saquon Barkley, you got a great running back. We'll see if he comes in with that mentality. Brian Johnson, promotion from quarterback coach could suggest a continuation of Eagles. All right, so all these coordinators are all here. You can read about it at atsstats.com, and hopefully you guys look at it. Shanahan, the one thing with Shanahan, I don't like head coaches being coordinators. It takes away from their overall job. And when you're a head coach and you're also the coordinator, and I can tell you from experience, if you're an offensive coordinator, what are you doing during practice? See, the thing is, if you're an offensive coordinator and you're also the head coach, when are you with the defense in practice? When are you with special teams, right? Special teams, obviously, you could be with special teams, but when offense and defense go into practice, if you're the head coach, you need to be walking around, going see what the defense are doing, keeping them on their toes, make sure that they're going towards the game plan, the preparation. The big thing in football, it's all about preparation, right? I say it all the time. You don't build your wings by being thrown off a cliff. You got to be the one thing in football. Is you got 6 days, in some cases 4 days in others, to prepare for either Thursday or Sunday games, right? And it's what you do in preparation for those games that prepares your team to win on Sundays or Saturdays, or in high school on Friday nights, right? So check it out, atsstats.com, and we talk about the coordinators here, and you want to give it a shout. All right, let's talk about practice, or not the practice, about the 80% Club, right, Alan?
We talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice. Practice, man. I mean, how silly is that?
Nope, not silly at all, because we are talking about the 80% Club stats, and let's talk about the stats right now at the 80% Club. And the number one stat today is the Tampa Bay Rays. The Rays are 11-1 as a home team, coming off an American League Central Division opponent this season. That's good for 91.6%. The over 10-1 for the Halos as a home team, coming off a 5-run loss the last 3 years. So if you like the over in that game, it is 10-1 for the Halos. Also, the Twins, 10-2 to the over as an away team, coming off a game where they scored 9 runs for the last 4 years. That's good for 83.3%. The over for Cincinnati, 9-2 as a home team, coming off a win in game 1 of a series this season. That's good for 81.8%. And let's leave you guys on a good note. The Rockies, 8-2 to the under as an away team, coming off a 4-game road trip the last 10 years, and that is good for 80%. Those are your 80% Club stats, courtesy of the Raymond Report. You can get the Raymond Report each each and every day right here at atsstats.com. All right, let's go to the CFL power rating of the week. Let's go to number 9, the Edmonton Elks. Yeah, Edmonton really struggling as struggling. Ottawa Red Blacks. You know what? Being from Ottawa, seeing this offense, even though Crum had a good day at the in the percentage play, 16-20 last time I saw, but I think it was like 80% completion rate. But they're all checkdowns. If you go look at all his passing, he had like 174 yards out of like 16 of 20. That's check down. If you're just checking down, you got to throw deep. And right now, the Ottawa Red Blacks, great defense, good special teams, offense. Missing in action. Hamilton, you know what? Tough loss against the Montreal Alouettes this weekend, 3-5 on the year. Calgary, Calgary doing very well. They won this weekend. Calgary beat Toronto. They beat the Toronto. Was it Toronto they beat? Let me see here. Let me go check. What was the final score in that game? CFL, and they beat the 20-7. That's right, 20-7. And you know what? Toronto was going in there undefeated, but they lost Kelly early in that game, and that's why there's no line this week yet for the Argonaut game against Ottawa, because they're trying to see what Kelly's status is. Kelly, I believe, is the nephew of Jim Kelly. So a little FYI right there. Calgary Stampeders, your number 6 team, 3-5 in the year. Saskatchewan, yeah, you know what? They got lucky. Let's be honest. Ottawa should have won that game. They went for a field goal when they should have probably went for a touchdown on the 1 yard line, but coulda, woulda, shoulda. Saskatchewan, your number 5 team in the power ratings. Montreal went up 2 spots this week, 4-3. BC. BC, 6-2. They lost to Winnipeg, which Winnipeg, I told you guys, that's the team. To me, Winnipeg is the team. I said it since day one. The Blue Bombers are the team to beat in the CFL. They are 6-2, and a very good quarterback in Colaros, former Cincinnati Bearcat, and the number 1 team. Just because they lost one game, you got to give them a few more reps here. 6-1 on the year. Toronto Argonauts still your number 1 team in the CFL, and that is according to the Marine Report power ratings you can get here each and every day at atsstats.com. All right, let's go to your top 25 sports betting options today in Major League Baseball. And if you go to your dashboard, and then you go to Major League Baseball, and here's your top 5 sports betting options today. Coming in number 5, Milwaukee Brewers. They are minus 210 though against Colorado. St. Louis plus 145 against Tampa Bay. They are now on a 2-game under streak. They're giving them a 60% chance of winning. St. Louis, again, I said earlier in the show, plus a run and a half might be worth it. Colorado coming in number 3. Tough get though against Milwaukee. Maybe plus 1.5. New York Yankees at number 2. Let's see if they bounce back after a loss last night. Yankees now on a 2-game losing streak. And your number 1 betting option today here at the Raymond Report is the Pittsburgh Pirates catching Atlanta on a 3-game losing streak. Hey, Atlanta's on a 3-game losing streak. Had them listed at plus 135. The bad news is they only win 25% of their games against A-type teams, and we're giving them a 45.5% chance of winning. Maybe Pittsburgh plus 1.5 is the way you want to go here today with the Bucks. All right, there you have it. That is the Rain Report today for a Tuesday, Ruby Tuesday. It is August 8th. Hey, slow start. I was struggling at the beginning. Struggling big time. I was talking too fast, I think. I was just trying to, it was like walking and chewing bubblegum at the same time at the beginning of the show, but we got through it, and hopefully you guys got something out of today's show. And again, folks, don't forget, with your atsstats.com membership right now at the Rain Report, you get my 3-game MLB pick pack, my underdog game of the day. You get the computer picks, which you get every day. Just click on the computer picks, which I gave you guys here today on the show. NFL Week 1 preseason picks are now up. I got 3 picks for NFL preseason Week 1, and you can get them right now with your membership. $4.99 for the week, $19.99 for the month, or if you want to get the full year, $99.99. That's a pretty good bargain. $100 for a whole year, and you get the Rain Report, you get the picks, you get the articles, you get everything. Pretty good. I think it's a pretty good deal. All right, so enjoy the rest of your day. I'm off to practice. Hey, off to practice. What, Allen Iverson?
We talking about practice, not a game. We talking about practice.
Yeah, I'll be at practice tonight, and then I'll be watching the late games when I get home. In the meantime, shop for value, play those percentages. I'll see you back shortly with another Rain Report. I'll be back Thursday, actually. Harry Carey. Where's Harry?
Hello again, everybody. Harry Carey from Wrigley Field on a beautiful day for baseball. To be the man, you gotta be the man.
Joe won the Chiefs.
Owns.
I don't know.
Struggling. Can we have fun? You're damn right. I demand that we have fun.
Put that coffee down. Coffee's for closers only.
Straight cash, homie.
Holy cow!
It's a dog-eat-dog world, Sammy, and I'm wearing milk-bone underwear.
What the hell's going on out here? Woo! If you smile, what the rock is cooking.
That's the bottom line, cause Stone Cold said so.
Let's go to eat a goddamn snack.
Like the way you walk when you walk over there. Hey, yeah, what you look over there?